What is going on, guys? Back with another round of wrestling news, and there is a lot to unpack today. We've got backstage chaos tied to TKO, fresh plans for WrestleMania 43. A possible shakeup coming to SmackDown, Seth Rollins fooling people again. A real injury coming out of WrestleMania weekend. Triple H bringing in another major name. Jelly Roll facing allegations. And the latest on Paige's future. So let's waste no time and get straight into it. Backstage chaos. One of the biggest stories right now is how much disruption TKO reportedly caused behind the scenes around WrestleMania 42. According to the latest reports, TKO leadership usually stays out of the finer details of creative, but this time they stepped in at exactly the wrong moment. The issue centered around Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll being pushed into the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton title story. That decision reportedly caused major frustration internally because it pulled attention away from a world title program that had been building for months. And from what is being said, a lot of people on the wrestling side were not happy about it at all. The problem was not just that TKO had authority. The problem was when they chose to use it. Next up, what was originally meant to happen at WrestleMania 42? Now, this is where things get really interesting. Roman Reigns beating CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship may have looked like the obvious destination once the match played out, but apparently that was not always the plan. There was said to be an idea floating around where Punk would leave WrestleMania with the title only to drop it again at Backlash. That pitch was eventually scrapped because the company decided to commit to a bigger long-term direction involving Roman and a likely showdown with Gunther down the line. And that was not the only major pivot. Night 1 was also apparently meant to end very differently, with Randy Orton originally planned to beat Cody Rhodes before Pat McAfee stepping away changed everything. Once that celebrity-heavy direction fell apart, WWE had to adjust fast. Next up, SmackDown could be changing. WWE is reportedly preparing a reset for SmackDown, but fans expecting a full visual makeover should calm down because the presentation is not what is changing. The logo, theme, and overall look are expected to stay mostly the same. What WWE does seem interested in changing is the roster itself. Rey Mysterio and JC Jane are two names reportedly discussed as part of that post-WrestleMania movement. Raw has already started shifting, and now the focus seems to be turning towards SmackDown. JC's recent farewell-type moment in NXT has only added more fuel to the speculation, while Rey returning to familiar territory would instantly add veteran value. Next up, Seth Rollins worked the fans again. Seth appeared on Good Morning Football for what looked like a normal segment, but things got uncomfortable fast once the conversation turned dismissive toward wrestling, and then Becky Lynch got dragged into it. Rollins suddenly changed his mood, took off his mic, and walked off the set. At first, a lot of people bought it completely. It looked real, but then, just like in wrestling, it turned out to be a work. Rollins later came back and confirmed that the whole thing had been planned. And the wild part is that it apparently fooled people because a senior official reportedly reached out to make sure nothing had actually gone wrong. So whether people loved it or hated it, the segment definitely got attention. Next up, Seth also left WrestleMania with a real injury. Rollins later revealed that the black eye he showed off after WrestleMania was completely legitimate. According to him, it happened when Braun Breaker flew into him with that spear at ridiculous speed. Rollins said Braun's foot ended up catching him in the eye during the collision, which explains why he was lying there not only struggling to breathe, but also wondering why his eye was swelling up. He made it clear that Braun's intensity is not new and that the guy genuinely moves at a level that is hard to control. Rollins also admitted he gave some payback later by cracking Braun in the back of the head with a chair and busting him open. So both men walked away from that rivalry having done real damage to each other. Next up, Brock Lesnar may not be finished after all. Even though Brock's WrestleMania moment fully given up on getting one more match out of him. The belief internally is that Lesnar may have genuinely meant that goodbye, but there are still hopes inside the company that he could return for one final bout, possibly at SummerSlam. And of course, the name everybody keeps coming back to is Gunther. Clearly sees value in that match, especially if they can frame it as one last Lesnar appearance. The problem is that Brock's WrestleMania exit looked emotional enough that fans are split. Some want the Gunther match badly. Others think the perfect ending has already happened and should be left alone. Next up, Triple H has signed another big name. Former New Japan star Evil is reportedly on his way in, and that is a move that could get very interesting depending on how WWE uses him. The company is said to be considering a new ring name, with Sinister already being talked about. Next up, WrestleMania 43 is already taking shape. With Saudi Arabia expected to host the event, more details are starting to come out about timing and structure. The current target date is reportedly late March, lining up with the final weekend of Riyadh season, though there is also an April backup date being discussed, just in case plans shift. Another interesting detail. Next up, Jelly Roll is dealing with allegations. Jelly Roll is facing claims made by comedian Nicole Arbor, who alleges serious misconduct and says there were attempts to silence her. Police in Nashville have confirmed that no charges have been filed, and there is no active investigation at this time. But the story has still started spreading quickly because of how severe the allegations are. One of the more explosive claims is that Jelly Roll allegedly made a threatening remark on video, though again, authorities are not moving forward with anything right now. So, at the moment, this remains a very messy public dispute rather than a legal case with charges attached to it. Next up, Paige may be setting up her final run. Paige's recent comments made it sound like this return is not the beginning of some long new chapter, but possibly the last one. She said she wants to enjoy the time she has left, have fun, and finally, experience moments she missed out on before. But the conversation also got much deeper when she reflected on the leaked tape scandal from years back and admitted how badly it broke her mentally. She even spoke about contemplating ending her life during that period. It was heavy stuff, but it also showed why this run clearly means more to her than just another comeback. And finally, the Pat McAfee angle got dropped for a reason that says a lot. One of the more revealing details to come out of all this is that Pat McAfee reportedly pulled himself out of the planned storyline. And the belief is that backlash to the celebrity direction played a big role in that decision. That is a huge detail, because McAfee had still been publicly selling the angle after WrestleMania. So from the outside, it did not look like he was backing away at all. But behind the scenes, it seems he saw the response and decided this was not the move. And honestly, that says a lot. Not only about how strongly fans reacted, but also about how badly this celebrity-heavy direction had missed the mark. So when you put everything together, the bigger picture is pretty clear. WrestleMania 42 did not just reshape storylines on screen. It also triggered a lot of changes and a lot of tension behind the scenes. Between TKO interference, dropped plans, roster moves, injury fallout, and major future setups, WWE is clearly still adjusting after a chaotic weekend.